Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hawkes, and this is your best life defined. How you doing today? Did you wake up excited, energized about the things you have in front of you today? I hope so. That's kind of my mantra. I hope so. I hope that you are grabbing hold of something, taking action today that's changing tomorrow for you, making it better. Giving you a little more time to do the things you love, maybe giving you a little more money to buy the things you really want or to focus on the things that really inspire you, put some fuel in your tank. Looking around, and we're facing a whole lot of turmoil right now. The world has kind of gone crazy. The United States certainly have. There's a bunch of people in the country right now that are thinking that maybe this isn't what they want anymore. I'm not sure how that works or where you come to that. I don't have any time for that myself. I've got my eyes set on the prize, on the good parts of life. Then there's COVID-19, a reemergence of COVID-19, trying to get the vaccine out, all that crazy stuff going on, another big stressor for us. I think I look around, I think you can see it in the faces of people, even with the mask. You just see this, there's a sense of fatigue in our country right now and in the world about all of these things, these changes that occurred. Makes you just want to sit on the curb and cry. Makes you just want to stop, right? Hard times, it's hard times for a lot of people, but I can guarantee you what now is not the time to stop. This is where the metal is going to get tested. This is where we, as both individuals and as a country, are going to have to face the reality that things are changing. And that while it's difficult and it's uncertain, the reality is the last thing any of us want to do is just simply sit on our hands and say, I give up. Because I look at the horizon and there's still a whole lot of good to be salvaged from this thing called life. And this is not the time to stop. I've been sitting here talking about your best life, and you're sitting there. There are people in this country who are thinking, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. And maybe the picture I painted is that it means you have success and you have wealth and you have fancy stuff. That's much simpler than that. It's about measuring out where you are right now and then picking a path that will improve on where you could be. That will improve on where you're at. I don't know, maybe you're struggling with the COVID-19 thing. Maybe you lost a mother or father or brother, and you're fighting that. This is not the time for you to give up. This is not the time for you to succumb to that sorrow and that heartache. This is the time when you have to stand up and say, okay, I will not be eaten by this thing. I will not be consumed by that which I cannot control. And living your best life means if you're struggling financially or you're struggling to feed yourself, then you take a look at options and you start taking action towards those options. And I know it's like, yeah, right, like no, I really do know. I remember standing in line for commodity cheese, commodity peanut butter. I know because I've been there. I remember one time we were collecting unemployment. I was working construction in Colorado. It had snowed. It was a spring snow. We didn't have any money to put gas in the car. I bundled my 3-month-old baby up in my Volkswagen, strap him in, and I go door to door shoveling snow to make money. When things are the toughest, when things are the most difficult is when we have to find it within ourselves just to move. To do something to make it better, to do something to improve our current position. I'm there. I've been there. I know what it feels like to go, oh my God, what are we going to do, right? Make a plan and let's do it. Because the harder things are, the more important it is for us to find the endurance to face those struggles. Anyone can face a life of leisure. There's nothing to have a life in abundance. But right now is when we need that endurance. Right now is when that training for not having enough or having that self-doubt and pushing past it in spite of your fear is so important. Living your best life isn't about owning a big fancy house. It isn't about owning a fancy car. Sometimes living your best life is saying, hey, you know what? I pushed it. I got that job. Yeah, I got that job. And maybe you are working 2 jobs. Maybe you are having to try and figure out new ways to do what used to come so easy to you. But this is not the time to stop. This is a time when we, as not only a country, but individually, we need to find it within ourselves to face our struggles and to say, okay, how can I make it better? How can I make my life better? How can I make the world better? If you're sitting in your dark place, in the shadows, and you're talking angry thoughts and sharing angry words with other people about how life is so bad, ultimately, you're not making life better, and the truth is, you're probably not making your own life better. You're like, well, who cares about that? It's the principle. Well, I suppose it is. But my principles fall farther short than that. My principles fall at my feet. Simple. Don't do anything to anyone else that you'd want them to do to you. Be nice. Be driven. Wake up energized by something. If you're not energized by something in your life, you need to find something to be energized about. Move toward the light. Because this is not a time to stop. This is not a time for you to tuck your tail between your legs and say, oh my God, it's too hard. Because it is too hard. It's always too hard. Everything that we've ever aspired to be or do in our life started out being way too hard. I look back, I think about this, and I think, what the hell? What does it matter? If I mess up, I mess up. 172 podcasts, I'm thinking, if I mess up, I mess up. Guess what? It's not hard anymore. And what's really important is I've found the energy within myself to focus on this for why I do it, and that is because this is making my life better. I don't have the time to stop. 16 years, I'll be gone. And I could be gone sooner than that. Why would I waste a minute of my time not going after every bit of it I could? Because this is not the time to stop. This is the time to say, okay, it sucks, it's hard, I should do something. I should do something about it. Now here's the ticket. Somewhere in this mix, things have gotten convoluted, in my opinion, about how we approach what it is we face in life. And if you're 18 years old or 19 years old, or if you're making adult decisions for yourself on a daily basis, you're responsible for where you are. Now, granted, there's some weird dynamic where the world just drops us into the lives we're born into, and maybe you're born to a rich family, affluent family with bunches of money, and maybe you're just born to some poor guy who's trying to make ends meet, right? But once you start making choices for yourself, they're your choices. And if you stop, if you decide, well, I'll just wait for some handouts, I'll just go ahead and sit back and see how things play out, you're going to get run over. So don't stop. I'll never stop. I'm going to play this thing out like an MMA fighter in the last minute of the last round. And it's a championship. It's a championship fight. And there I am. And I'm going to be busting my ass. And it doesn't matter. People used to laugh at me because I've done so many different things. And you know what? My goal is to do so many more different things. Change directions. Go from here to there to here to there. So at the end of it all, I can look back and I can say, hell yeah, I did it. It was hard work. I learned a lot. I know a lot. I've done a lot. Because you never want to stop. This is not the time to stop. COVID-19 is not the time to stop. When you have an unexpected pregnancy and the baby's on the way, that's not the time to stop. When you're looking at your partner, you know you love them, but you can't figure out the communication thing, that is not the time to stop. That is the time for you to go harder than you ever have before. Harder to learn what you need to learn, to do what you need to do, to stay in the game just long enough to win. Spend a lot of time making noise about all kinds of nonsense, right? Not really. I believe it. I believe it because Sandy and I have done it. 16. I was 18. No education, no money, a baby on the way. Wasn't supposed to end this way for us. Coming up on 40 years. And the scariest part about being married that long is simply the fact that there's going to come a day when I have to say goodbye to her. And that's going to rip my heart out. That's why I don't have time. It's not the time to stop being a great husband. It's not the time to stop being a best friend. Think about it. Think about all the things and all the opportunities you have in your life, all the things you can still do, because it doesn't matter what you can't do. All the things you can still do, all the things you can go after, all the things you can accomplish between now and that inevitable end. Go after it. Wake up every day excited about your life and energized by the choices you've made, and I guarantee you will never stop. Keep it in mind. I appreciate the follows. I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much for showing up every day. I will continue to do my part. I hope you'll do the same. I hope today's the day you grab a hold of something that inspires you and pushes your life in a direction you never thought possible. So keep that in mind. Until next time, just remember, today's your day.